with no money, no connections, not even a rich uncle. At 22, his entire life fits into one small backpack. Very small. And 5 years later, everything changed for him. This is the Untold Africa.
Mama Africa, as we all call her, is full of powerful stories, not because they are rare, but because they are rarely told by individuals from all sectors of Africa. Today, we tell you about the African story. He grew up in an African home, in a very crowded neighborhood. You can imagine the population of Africa as a continent. Electricity was unreliable. Money was always tough to come by. School was even a struggle, worse more than anything in the society. But survival was a bigger lesson. And after secondary school, there was no clear direction, no guide, no ambition. University even felt far away. Jobs were scarce. Nothing was working, nothing was coming by. So like many young Africans, he turned to hustling, taking small jobs, doing daily labor, learning by watching others work. As a matter of fact, nobody noticed him and nobody expected much from him or the society itself. And one day, he noticed something simple. People needed a certain service and no one was doing it well. Not among his peers, not among his friends. Everybody doubted what anybody could do themselves in the society. The tools were basic, the profit was small, but the demand was steady. What probably could have been done? What will be possible to take us out of this bondage, this mentality that we have in the African state? He borrowed what he could, he started small and began serving customers. It wasn't perfect, but it was a beginning for him. Progress was slow, and at the same time, he never doubted himself. Some customers delayed payments, others didn't even take him seriously. His friends, his own friends, laughed at him. Even his family began to ask and question, when would he get a real job? There were days he even thought of quitting, but instead, he improved on areas that he felt he was lacking. On better service, better attitude towards work, more discipline, and little by little, gradually, people began to notice him. And boom, then came the breakthrough. A bigger client trusted him. And then another followed. His small hustle began to pay off. His business started looking like a real business. And instead of celebrating, he reinvested on everything he had. Started making more profits. No luxury, no shortcuts, just focus on everything he ever wanted to achieve. So as we have it, his business grew steadily. He hired more help, moved to a better location, expanded his service. The same people who ignored and rejected him, who laughed at him, now asked for advice. You can imagine. But he stayed grounded because he had principles to protect. Because he remembered where he started from. The moral lesson of this, the story is not about luck. It's about patience, consistency, and discipline. In Africa, many people have ideas. Few have endurance. Few can even project what they have in their minds. And very few even emulate or think and do what they actually talk about. That is the difference. You don't need to start big. You just need to start what you have in mind, what you're thinking about, what you're actually visualizing. Because some of the greatest stories are the ones nobody talk about. If you believe in African stories, and the African stories deserve to be heard and told the right way, subscribe to the Untold Africa, because African stories matter.